STARepublic Weekly Horoscope from April 17th to April 23rd. Hey, Aries. Buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride this week. There are a lot of changes happening in the environment, so it's a good idea to take some time to plan and reflect. On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun moves into Taurus, which is all about economic power and abundance. This shift could bring some positive financial changes your way, but as your income and expenses increase, it's important to stay mindful of your spending habits. However, this week is not all sunshine and rainbows. The new moon rises from your second house on Thursday, and a hybrid solar eclipse occurs just before midnight on April 20th. This means that it's best to hold off on making any big moves and instead focus on planning for the future. Communication may be a bit rocky at the start of the week, as Venus forms a square with Saturn. And to top it off, Mercury goes into retrograde on April 21st, potentially causing some communication problems at work or even leading to unexpected financial setbacks. If you're feeling a bit tense, you're not alone. Mars, your ruling planet, is currently in your fourth house of family, and there may be some arguments or conflicts at home. Remember to approach these situations with care and be gentle with your loved ones. In your relationships with friends, you may feel the urge to take charge and make changes, but be careful not to come off as too controlling. The Sun is square with Pluto, which could cause some tension and misunderstandings. And on Thursday, Jupiter forms a square with Pluto, making you feel more stubborn and belligerent than usual. You may be feeling down and worried about your relationships, but remember to take some time for yourself and recharge your energy. So, Aries, while this week may be a bit turbulent, remember to stay grounded and approach challenges with care. Take some time to plan for the future, and don't forget to be gentle and understanding with yourself and those around you. Hey there, Taurus. This week might be a little intense for you, with lots of changes happening in your environment. But don't worry, it's actually a great time for everyone to slow down and take things calmly, no matter what their star sign is. Starting Thursday, April 20th, the Sun will move into your sign, giving you a burst of energy and confidence to express yourself and bring your ideas to life. You might even come up with some fresh and exciting ideas thanks to Mercury and Uranus in your corner. However, be aware that Mercury is retrograde starting on April 21st, which could cause some communication hiccups or transportation issues. On top of that, there's a hybrid solar eclipse happening just before midnight on April 20th Eastern Time, which means it's a great time for planning and setting intentions. Your self-esteem might get a boost, but try not to let it make you too self-centered or narrow-minded. In terms of your possessions and property, Venus will be forming a square with Saturn until Thursday, which might make you feel a little anxious about losing your precious resources. It's always good to talk openly with loved ones about your worries and fears. There are some other planetary movements happening this week, like the Sun squaring with Pluto and Jupiter squaring with Pluto, which could make you feel a little stubborn or isolated. But don't worry, you have some great friends in your 11th house who will be there for you. And if you need some relaxation time, activities like meditation or yoga can help. Overall, this week might feel like a roller coaster ride, but it's a great opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Take things calmly and remember to reach out for support if you need it. You got this, Taurus. Hey there, Gemini. Brace yourself for a week full of changes and events. Regardless of your zodiac sign, it's essential to take some time to relax and stay calm amidst the chaos. This week, the skies are busy with many astronomical events, including a hybrid solar eclipse, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. These events will have a significant impact on your sign, so it's essential to be prepared for what's to come. On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun moves to your 12th house Taurus, which signifies your inner world. During this time, You may feel the need to prioritize your privacy over your social life. Even though you're popular with people around you, you may find solace in spending some time alone to satisfy your inner needs. This week, you may also feel drawn to altruistic work related to service, welfare, and religion. As your ruler Mercury and Uranus are together in your 12th house, you'll have the freedom to proceed with what you want to do with your creative and imaginative mind. However, on April 21st, Mercury starts to reverse course, and it won't be until mid-May that the retrograde is over. You're known for your excellent communication and learning skills, but be wary of communication problems with others during this period. Even though you may feel frustrated, try not to let misunderstandings get in the way of your relationships with others. On Thursday, the new moon starts at your 12th house, followed by a hybrid solar eclipse just before midnight on April 20th, Eastern Time in the United States. This is usually a good time to start fresh, but since there is a solar eclipse, it's best to spend this week calmly planning your next moves. You may find it challenging to adjust to the changes happening around you, but you can make the most of this time by quietly planning your work without getting too emotional. Venus, located in your first house, symbolizing yourself in society, forms Saturn and square in the 10th house, representing social achievements. If you're working in a large or conservative industry or running a business, you will be working hard to maintain the status you've built up so far with patience and responsibility. However, be aware that you may face stress from pressure by your boss or authority. Additionally, Mars is located in your second house, representing money and income. With fierce competition in your field, it's crucial to manage your finances well to avoid any monetary issues. Throughout the week, the Sun is square with Pluto in your 9th house, representing culture or spiritual improvement. You may feel critical of social issues and may want to impose your opinions on others. On Thursday, Jupiter forms a square with Pluto, making you even more stubborn in conveying your opinions to others. Be careful not to come off as too aggressive or forceful with your thoughts. Jupiter is in your 11th house, representing friendship, so you have many good friends who can help you achieve your goals. Don't hurt them, and take some time to rest and organize your thoughts over the weekend. Hey there! If you're a Cancer, this week might feel like a roller coaster ride. There are a lot of astronomical events happening, like hybrid solar eclipses, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. But don't worry, you can still make the most of this week by staying calm and grounded. On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun moves into your 11th house, which represents friendship. As a natural empathy and sensitive person, you'll value your friendships even more during this time. You'll enjoy sharing your hobbies with your pals and being a supportive friend. With Mercury and Uranus also in your 11th house, you'll attract new friends and have more casual encounters. But watch out, because Mercury begins its retrograde motion on April 21st, which can cause communication issues and misunderstandings. If you're close with someone, make sure to communicate clearly and avoid any misunderstandings. The new moon on Thursday also takes place in your 11th house, making it a good time to start new relationships or projects. However, there's also a hybrid solar eclipse happening on April 20th, which can cause sudden changes in your relationships. Don't worry too much though, just stay calm and watch things unfold without getting too emotional. Mars is in your house of self-representation, which means you'll be more competitive and active this week. You might even get into an argument with your family on Wednesday, so be careful not to hurt their feelings. The Sun will also square with Pluto in your 8th house, which represents inheritance and possessions, so you might feel strongly about your family's legacy or your spouse's belongings. And on Thursday, Jupiter forms a square with Pluto, making you more stubborn and set in your ways. If you feel like hiding your feelings over the weekend, it's not the best solution. Take some time to calm your mind and express your thoughts gently. Finally, Venus is in your 12th house, which represents your inner world. Until Thursday, Venus will square with Saturn in your ninth house, which represents culture and spiritual growth. It might be a bit tough at the beginning of the week, but you'll have some time and space on the weekend to pursue your hobbies and recharge your batteries. It's a great time to indulge in your favorite activities and find inner peace in a quiet place. Remember to take care of yourself and stay grounded this week, Cancer. Hey there, Leo. Get ready for a week of major changes and exciting celestial events. But don't worry, even amidst all the cosmic chaos, you'll be able to find some calm and inner peace. Starting on Thursday, April 20th, the Sun will move into your 10th house, which is a great sign for your social and professional success. You might get a promotion at work or gain some local fame. Just make sure to stay focused on your goals and act responsibly to make the most of this lucky period. Jupiter is also in your ninth house, which means you're in a great position for cultural or spiritual growth. You have a broad perspective on society and are receiving good feedback. If you work in fields like education, law, or media, you're likely to gain even more recognition. However, with Mercury and Uranus together in your 10th house, your status and circumstances may change quickly. You might even start a new organization or change jobs. Just be aware that Mercury is going into retrograde on April 21st, which could make communication a bit tricky. You are normally great at expressing yourself, but during this time, you might have trouble getting your point across clearly. So, be mindful of your words and pay extra attention to important conversations. On Thursday, the new moon starts in your 10th house, which is an excellent time for gaining popularity and success. However, there's also a solar eclipse happening around the same time, so it's best to take things slow and steady. You're feeling confident and full of yourself, which is great, but don't let that rush you into making impulsive decisions. You might encounter some challenges in your relationships this week, particularly with your spouse or business partner. Try to stay open-minded and listen to their perspective rather than getting too defensive. And if you're single, you'll have plenty of opportunities to make new friends and explore your interests. Lastly, Mars is in your 12th house, which means you might feel the need to take some time for yourself to de-stress and recharge. Just be careful not to push yourself too hard or risk injury, especially over the weekend. Overall, it's a dynamic and transformative week for you, Leo. Embrace the changes, stay focused on your goals, and keep a positive mindset. You've got this. Hey there, fellow Virgo. This week is going to be a bit rocky, with a lot of changes happening in the environment. But don't worry, you can still find some peace and calm amidst the chaos. There are a ton of astronomical events taking place this week, like the hybrid solar eclipse, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. So it's a good time for everyone to take it easy and be kind to themselves. On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun moves into your ninth house Taurus, which symbolizes liberal arts or spiritual improvement. You're known for being smart and insightful, and this week, you'll have the opportunity to broaden your horizons and increase your intellectual curiosity. Plus, your ruler Mercury and Uranus are both in your ninth house too, making it a great time to explore new theories and philosophies. However, on April 21st, Mercury begins to retrograde, which can cause some miscommunications and misunderstandings. So be extra careful with your communication, especially when it comes to work or private conversations. The new moon also starts in your ninth house on Thursday, which is a great signal for you to start learning new things. But because of the solar eclipse, it's best to take some time to plan and watch calmly rather than actively responding to changes in your surroundings. When it comes to relationships, things might feel a bit unstable right now. Saturn and Neptune are located in your 7th house, which represents marriage or relationships with others. Whether you're single or in a relationship, you might be feeling like things aren't going your way. It's best to be patient and take some time for yourself. Venus is located in your 10th house, which represents social success, so there's a chance you'll get a good job through networking at this time. And Jupiter is located in your 8th house, which represents other people's possessions. You can expect inheritance, but remember that you can do well enough on your own too. Overall, this week might feel a bit challenging, but it's also a great opportunity for you to learn and grow. Just remember to take some time for yourself, communicate clearly, and be patient with yourself and others. And don't forget to rest and recharge over the weekend. Hey there, Libra. Brace yourself for a week of significant changes in the environment. Whether you're an astrology enthusiast or not, this week is important for everyone to take a step back and focus on staying calm amidst the chaos. The stars are going through some significant movements this week, including a hybrid solar eclipse, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. On Thursday, April 20th, the sun moves to your 8th house Taurus, which signifies heritage and other people's possessions. This means that you could inherit social positions in your organization, transfer skills from a workplace or business, or even manage funds with a legacy. You should also be aware that Mercury and Uranus are with the Sun in your 8th house, which could signify succession or inheritance in intellectual and spiritual areas. However, on April 21st, Mercury starts retrograding, which means the process of inheritance or succession may not be as smooth as you expect. It's important to pay close attention to the details and check everything thoroughly to avoid any misunderstandings. On Thursday, the new moon also starts in your 8th house, and a hybrid solar eclipse happens just before midnight on the same day in Eastern Time in the United States. This is a good time to plan for the future, although you may become self-centered and narrow-minded. So, watch your attitude and respond carefully to changes in your surroundings. Jupiter sits in your 7th house, which represents marriage or relationships with others, and it's an excellent time to connect with a partner who has economic power. Your ruler, Venus, sits in your 9th house, which represents liberal arts or spiritual improvement, and you may be interested in sophisticated hobbies related to art, entertainment, or traveling abroad. However, you may feel stressed out by your boss or authority figures during the week, thanks to Venus's square with Saturn in your 6th house that represents labor and jobs. Instead of reaching for alcohol or medicine, try to relieve your stress by doing hobbies or traveling after work. Remember, taking care of your mental health is essential. Throughout the week, the Sun has formed a square with Pluto in your 5th house, which represents love and entertainment. From Thursday, Jupiter forms a square with Pluto, making you emotionally unstable in terms of relationships. You may feel inclined to force your opinion on others, so be sure to check your way of expressing yourself. On weekends, take some time for yourself and enjoy your hobbies alone at home or take a walk nearby to clear your mind. Remember, this week may be intense, but with careful planning and a positive attitude, you can navigate through it smoothly. Stay calm, take care of your mental health, and keep an eye out for any exciting opportunities that may come your way. Hi there. Are you a Scorpio? This week is going to be quite a ride for you, with some major changes happening in the cosmos. But don't worry, it's also a good time to take a deep breath and approach everything with calmness and serenity. Some exciting astronomical events are happening this week, including a hybrid solar eclipse, a sun shift, a new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. But what does all of this mean for you? On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun moves to your 7th house Taurus, which is all about marriage or relationships with others. This is a lucky time for you to either find the perfect partner or start a successful joint venture. You'll need to put the needs of the other person ahead of your own, but it will be worth it. If you're in business, you might find yourself forming a relationship with a high-ranking person. Meanwhile, Venus is in your 8th house, which is all about heritage and other people's belongings. You might find yourself attracted to someone with a good legacy or appearance and feel a little tempted. There's a lot going on in your 7th house this week, with Mercury and Uranus also in the mix. Communication is key, especially if you're in a relationship. You don't like to feel restricted, so if you're feeling trapped, you might want to take a step back. Just be aware that Mercury will start to go retrograde on April 21st, which could cause some communication issues with your partner. Even a small misunderstanding could cause some tension, so try to be patient. The Sun also forms a square with Pluto in your 4th house, which represents your family. You might feel like you're being persistent and stubborn with your family or partner, but it's important to approach them with a gentle touch. Jupiter also forms a square with Pluto on Thursday, which means you might need to lower your guard a bit and try to reduce any conflicts. But there's some good news, too. The new moon is starting in your 7th house on Thursday, which is a great signal for you to start a new relationship or improve an existing one. However, since there's also a solar eclipse happening, it's a good time to plan and take things slowly. Mars is also in your 9th house, which represents culture and spiritual growth. You might feel very confident and strong in your beliefs, but try to stay open to changes in your environment. Saturn and Neptune are in your 5th house, which is all about love and entertainment. You might be feeling a little closed off or secretive about your dating life, but it's important to be honest with yourself and others. Jupiter is in your 6th house, which represents work, labor, and health. You're doing great with work, but make sure you're taking care of your mental health and not overworking yourself. Overall, this is a week of change and growth for Scorpios. Take things one step at a time, communicate openly with your partner, and be kind to yourself and others. Good luck! Hey there, Sagittarius. This week might feel like a whirlwind of changes for everyone, regardless of your zodiac sign. But don't worry, you got this. Some exciting celestial events are happening, including a hybrid solar eclipse, a new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. So, get ready to experience some powerful energy shifts. On Thursday, April 20th, the Sun will move into your 6th house, which represents work, health, and occupation. This is excellent news for you, especially if you work in healthcare or security professions. You'll excel in your job, and your employers and clients will recognize your skills and competence. Mercury and Uranus will join the Sun in your 6th house, making it easy for you to showcase your talents in accounting, office work, and information processing. If you've been thinking of changing jobs or becoming a freelancer, now is a good time to do so. However, keep in mind that Mercury will begin its retrograde on April 21st, which may cause some miscommunications and disruptions in your work life until mid-May. So, be careful and double-check everything. On Thursday, there will also be a new moon in your 6th house, but with a twist. A hybrid solar eclipse will happen just before midnight on April 20th, Eastern Time in the United States. Although a new moon usually signals a fresh start, the solar eclipse's energy might make you feel mentally tired and overwhelmed. Take this time to plan calmly and take care of yourself. Changes in your employment situation might also occur, so be prepared for that. Venus is located in your 7th house, which represents relationships and marriage. Venus will form a square with Saturn until Thursday in your 4th house, which represents family relationships. You might feel pressure from your partner's family background or social status if you're thinking of tying the knot. But don't worry, the pressure will gradually fade away after Thursday. Just keep your parents' opinions in mind when choosing a spouse. Jupiter, your ruler, is located in your 5th house, which symbolizes love. You might meet attractive and older people or those with a high status if you're actively dating. Just be careful of infidelity, and don't rush into anything. From Thursday, Jupiter will square with Pluto, which sits in your 3rd house representing communication and learning. Your ideals and reality might clash, so try to be more patient and understanding with others. Also, the Sun will square with Pluto all week, making it essential to be flexible in your communication with your boss or clients. Check yourself to make sure you're not being too one-sided. Finally, Mars is in your eighth house, which represents heritage and other people's possessions. You might face some financial troubles at home or marital sexual issues. Take some time to cool off by going for a walk or exploring a nearby place over the weekend. Remember, you are strong and capable of handling whatever this week throws at you. Hey there, Capricorn. The week ahead is going to be full of changes, but don't worry. It's a good time for everyone to take a step back and relax. This week is going to be jam-packed with celestial activity, including a hybrid solar eclipse, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. On Thursday, April 20th, the sun moves to your fifth house in Taurus, which represents love and entertainment. You might find yourself yearning for a relationship, and you'll have a great opportunity to connect with someone special. However, with Mercury and Uranus in the mix, your relationship might be a bit unusual. You might come off as a bit aloof or hard to read, but that's just your natural independence shining through. Just be aware that with Mercury retrograde starting on April 21st, communication with your loved one might be a bit rocky. Speaking of the new moon, it starts on Thursday too, right in your fifth house. This is a great time to start a new relationship, but remember that there's a solar eclipse happening too. It's important to take some time to plan and reflect before jumping into anything too quickly. During this time, you might feel a bit self-centered and narrow-minded, so make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings. In terms of family and relationships, Mars is in your seventh house, which represents marriage or relationships with others. You might have some trouble if your partner is strong-willed and assertive. Additionally, there might be some disagreements over family property or possessions, but don't worry. Communication is key to solving these issues. Finally, Venus is in your sixth house representing labor, occupation, and health, and it's squared by Saturn in your third house of communication until Thursday. This could make communication with your boss or co-workers a bit difficult, so it's important to take your time when responding. And with all the changes happening this week, you might be feeling mentally exhausted. Taking a short trip over the weekend could be just what you need to relieve some stress and recharge. That's it for now, Capricorn. Remember to take things slow and stay open to whatever the universe has in store for you this week. Hey Aquarius, this week is going to be a bit of a wild ride with some major changes happening in the environment. But don't worry, it's a good time for everyone to take things easy and stay calm. A bunch of exciting astronomical events are taking place this week, including a hybrid solar eclipse, sun shifts, new moon, and Mercury's retrograde. On Thursday, April 20th, the sun moves into your fourth house Taurus, which symbolizes family. As an Aquarius, you're unique and progressive, but you also cherish your family. With Mercury and Uranus joining the sun in your fourth house, you'll be able to create a family environment that's intelligent and supportive like a good friend. But just one day later, Mercury begins its retrograde, which won't end until mid-May. This could cause some communication issues between family members and lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. However, you're in control and can handle any issues that arise. On Thursday, a new moon also begins in your fourth house, but since there's a solar eclipse happening just before midnight on April 20th Eastern Time, it's best to spend this week calmly planning instead of starting any new relationships or projects. You may feel a bit self-centered and narrow-minded during this time, so try to stay open to others' perspectives, especially in your family life, which could become unstable. Make concessions and stay calm instead of insisting on doing things your way. Pluto is in your sign, representing your self-expression in society. You'll slowly start to show your hidden talents. However, the sun is square with Pluto this week, which could lead you to try to change your family members' behavior at home. Your family may think you're being stubborn and controlling, even if you don't realize it. On Thursday, Jupiter also forms a square with Pluto, which could make you feel more stubborn and belligerent than usual. You may feel down because your ideal vision clashes with reality. Remember that your family needs your platonic love and support, not your need for control. Saturn and Neptune are in your second house, representing your possessions and property. Mars is in your sixth house, representing your work and occupation. You may feel anxious about money, but you're working hard and saving faithfully even in a competitive environment. Venus is in your fifth house, representing love and entertainment, but it's forming a square with Saturn until Thursday, which could lead to a fear of losing your possessions and financial insecurity. You may underestimate your talents during this time, but remember to stay confident and take a break once in a while. Finally, Venus is in your fifth house, and Jupiter is in your third house, representing communication and learning. This means you'll be interested in beauty and fashion, and spending time at a nearby department store or shopping mall on the weekends can add some excitement to your life. Enjoy exploring your intellectual side and taking in all the beauty around you. Hey there, Pisces. This week is going to be pretty wild with all kinds of cosmic events happening in the sky. But don't worry, you don't have to be an astrology expert to enjoy the benefits of this time. Everyone can benefit from a calm and peaceful approach to life right now, no matter what your zodiac sign is. As for you specifically, the Sun is moving into your third house on Thursday, April 20th, which means you'll be feeling more curious and intellectually stimulated. If you work with languages or communication, you can expect some positive feedback in your job. And even if you don't work in those fields, you'll find yourself drawn to reading and writing more than usual. But be careful, because on April 21st, Mercury begins its retrograde journey, which can lead to communication issues and misunderstandings. Don't worry too much, though. Your sensitivity and creativity will help you navigate any challenges that come your way. On Thursday, there's also a new moon in your third house, which is a great time to start new projects or relationships. Just be aware that a solar eclipse is happening around the same time, so it's better to plan things out rather than rush into action. Your ruler Neptune is sitting with Saturn in your sign, which means your artistic talents will be shining brightly. But be mindful of your family relationships, as Saturn's square with Venus may cause you to neglect those important connections. Overall, this week is a time for reflection and self-care. Don't be afraid to take some time to yourself and focus on your emotional and physical well-being. And if you're feeling adventurous, try some new hobbies or take a trip to shake things up.